Hello and welcome to Buzz About, discussions with skilled professionals about how they got there and why they do it. All recorded here at 15 North Studio in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Hey, welcome to Buzz About. I'm Megan.
And I'm Bert.
And today we're here with Mike from Ramp Up. Welcome, Mike.
Right on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I
thanks for
appreciate
being
it,
here, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us about Ramp Up.
Right. So what I do is I actually run a youth program teaching skateboarding at a very beginner level. We're like the bunny slopes for skateboarding. Typically elementary age kids, like 5 to 8 years old. And we fit the whole thing in my van. So we're a mobile pop-up. We'll come up. We don't need a skate park. We'll show up to a basketball court or a school parking lot or whatever. And it's a ton of fun. And it's been going really well. And I'm excited to share what we're doing. I haven't really talked about it too much. So it's cool that you guys had me on.
I didn't even know that I thought you worked at a specific park. You can just all fits in the van and comes
everywhere.
with you?
So we definitely started Phoenixville. So we have kind of the most locations central to here, but we've done a whole variety of them. I mean, even like we've done, if you're familiar with Root Down, right down in town, we did a winter program in Root Down Sunday mornings. So we had like 30 kids in there skateboarding in kind of the back part. We just bring all the ramps in and we can make it happen.
I have a follow-up question to this Root Down.
Yeah.
What were the parents doing?
The parents were enjoying themselves.
Supporting Root Down?
It was a Sunday brunch kind of situation.
That needs to happen again.
I think Root Down was happy with it. I'll check in with Mike and see if we're going to do it again this winter. That would be cool.
I'd like that memo. I'm already on the email list. So.
Yeah. You'll hear about it.
Good.
Yeah, cool. So how did you get started in all this? Like, where did this come from?
Yeah. So, it really is kind of like a winding thing. There's not really a straight line. COVID was a huge catalyst. I think pretty much everybody who's doing anything right now feels like COVID was this big moment, right? So for us, definitely that was true. When I say us, I should also mention my wife, Christine, is also co-founder. So we're in this together. And for us, though, I mean, I think it's helpful maybe for me to go back a little bit because starting actually way back in high school when I was skateboarding, when I was regular, that was my thing, right? All my best friends, all my time went into skateboarding and making videos on like the mini DV tapes and stuff like that and editing and all that. Some of them may still be online. You maybe like the sleuths out there can like find some of our old stuff. But during that time, I was able to actually avoid sort of the traditional, quick service food retail kind of jobs because I ended up working with kids. And I think that was something, in retrospect, looking back at it, I think the adults in my life sort of recognized something like, hey, we could really use you with Boys and Girls Club. I worked at summer camps. I did karate lessons for many years. And really was able to kind of get the reps in working with kids at like from the beginning. That was my first real job.
Yeah.
And then fast forward a little bit, go to college here in Philadelphia. I went to Drexel for digital media, where I met Christine, my wife, and we at the time were studying like computer graphics and animation and web design and video games, and it was like a really hacker maker space kind of thing. Like one day you'd be doing figure drawing. Like old school, like with charcoal and all that. And then the next day you've got all those like balls on your suit doing like motion capture in the studio. So it was like a cool experience.
That was at Drexel?
At Drexel, yeah, digital media. It's now split into very specific tracks. So you can do like game design specifically or websites specifically. But at the time we were doing it, I think they were pretty much building the bridge as we were all walking across it. Like there was no plan.
And at that time, like digital like gaming was just coming to life. Now that there's a million offshoots.
Totally. And it's hard to even remember how much has changed since then because it feels like it hasn't been that long. But at the same time, we made a mobile app for our senior project. And at the time, only one person on the team had a smartphone.
Oh, wow.
So we would all need to borrow that person's phone to like do these projects because nobody else even had one, which is just crazy.
Sure. Not to reveal ages here, but I am a Drexel graduate.
Oh, right on.
I have a bachelor in mechanical engineering.
Okay, very good.
I feel like I'm way older than you.
Yeah, well, I graduated, my graduation year was 2012.
We're not going to talk about my graduation.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to now.
2003. Keep going.
Yeah. So, but it was, so here's the thing, like the reason that's worth bringing up, not only because obviously Christine and I started teaming up for the first time and we did lots of cool projects together. some stuff for like Disney Imaginations has this cool competition that we entered a couple years, and all just sorts of creative stuff. But the big thing that you get out of the school is like learning how to learn. Right. I think in K-12, you go through this process of sort of checking boxes and knowing the exact requirements and having this thing delivered to you constantly of here's the next thing, here's the next thing, here's the next thing. It spits you out the other side and there's no next thing. And you're like, what am I supposed to do? And so like school really for us taught us that like you could get up to speed on new things quickly if you need to. Right. It's like this idea of learning just in time instead of learning just in case. It's like don't spend all this time memorizing all this stuff. Just figure out what you need today and learn it, right? And so anyways, we do that. After school, we find that it's easier to get contract work than to get a full-time job in this specific thing on the East Coast. So a lot of our friends went west and worked at cool studios and all that, and did really cool things. But we started our own little agency. And like, it's hard to even describe, think back now, like it was just, we were doing so many things. Like we were sometimes doing websites and sometimes doing apps, but sometimes doing packages for like items that would be in stores. We were sometimes doing stuff. We'd get little jobs from like marketing visualization stuff from like Campbell's Soup. We did some stuff. We worked on a children's museum exhibit where we did this like 3D world. It was just like a total digital handyman. Like we'll say yes to anything. We didn't know what we were doing, right? Yeah. So like, we'll say, you're going to pay us? Well, we're going to figure this out. And we went through that gauntlet for a long time, for maybe 4 years. And that really, suddenly it was like possible, like, oh, we could do our own thing. Like we don't have to work for somebody else. And we did, we kind of took turns on and off. I would work at a web development place and Christine would work at a marketing place. And we kind of figured things out along the way. I should mention we do get married in 2013. So just after school. So we're now married. We so then what's the next big milestone? Well, to get to ramp up, right? So then in 2015, I end up working at this place. Christine actually found it for me. It's like a lot like those mentors, like when I was a little kid, when I was like 14, she found this opportunity that was like, you got to apply for this thing. It was teaching kids, like K-12 kids code in school. It was like, let's use the digital media stuff, but also your kid kind of like mentorship side of it. And let's do that. Or she wanted me to do that. So I ended up doing that. It was a startup company. They'd been around in Hong Kong actually for a little while, but we were part of the founding US team to do this. And it was a ball. Like I got the startup bug like bad. I was working at all hours. They were still in Hong Kong. So like my workday would end at like 5 or 6 or 7, but then theirs would start at like 7 p.m. You know what I mean? Cause they're 12 hours.
I was to say it's a big hour difference.
Yeah. So it would just be nonstop. And we were growing like crazy and it was a ton of fun. And I got to do every job and learned an absolute ton. I got to go over to Hong Kong and all this cool stuff. And then COVID-19, we're back to the ramp up now, because ultimately like K-12 spending just stopped dead. Everybody was gone. We were projected to have maybe like 350 schools that year, and we were down to like 3. Like it was over.
There was no schools.
It was over. There was no business left. Brutal, and they do still exist, and they still are doing great work. But for me personally, that was a moment where it's like, all right, stepping out. And I got to find something I love to do now. And I got to do a job where I can do it standing up and moving and talking to people, right? Because like COVID, I think did that all to us. Like you wake up, you sit all day long.
Like I need human interaction.
And you go to bed. Yep, exactly. You look at the screen.
If we're going to give COVID a bright side, it really was something that reminded us where our roots were, like where our passions were.
It lit a fire, right? And then it was like, so that was where the skateboarding thing really started. Let's call it 2021. I started in with a project called PA Skate Parks. That was just something I'd been inspired by a buddy of mine who worked at Red Bull Skate, and he was doing an Instagram account for his local skate park. This is back where I actually grew up. Near Waltham, Massachusetts. I was in Watertown.
Gotcha.
There was a park up in Waltham, and he was blowing my mind with the things he was telling me about the engagement on this account, right? Like he would say at Red Bull, if we get like 2 or 3% engagement on a post, that's a win. Like if you post it out and like 2 or 3 out of 100 people like it or comment or whatever, that's a good post. But for his local account, he would post that up and he would sometimes get 90% engagement.
Oh my gosh.
9 out of 10 people that saw the post were either commenting, sharing, saving.
What kind of content
posting.
is it? What is this?
Well, so what he was doing was he had an extremely small group. He had a local skate park with maybe 400 people for whom those people, this is their most important place. Like this is the news that they wish they had. Like what's going on at the park right now?
Oh, sure.
Are people there? What big trick just went down? Never been done before, and now I'm seeing it. What old footage just surfaced from like back in the day when the old guys were there? And then drama, whatever. So he would just post about the park, and that got me thinking like about skateboarding and about media and about skate parks. Kind of as these important third places for kids and really for adults too. And so I started this thing called PA Skate Parks, which was just an Instagram account and a website where my thing was I'm going to just catalog all the parks in Pennsylvania. And we'll just see what happens. Like I didn't really have a plan. This is like my burnout project. This is like I'm done with technology for a while. I've been working super hard. We were in a spot where I could take a little bit of time and just do this thing. So I ended up visiting like 60 parks in Pennsylvania. Wow. And there's way more. I'm pretty confident I have the most complete list because there are no good lists out there. Like you can go out there and even Google Maps, I'd be hearing about a park. Somebody would message into the account and I tried looking it up. Can't find anything. Can't find anything on the Parks and Rec website. Can't find anything on Google. I go to Google Maps. Sure enough, I look around the satellite view and there it is. There's a park. So I'd add it to Google and I'd add it to my site and I'd add it to the Instagram. And
that's exactly how I location scout.
Yeah, right.
Sure. Yeah, for photos.
Yeah.
Google Maps. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I got pretty into that, and at some point made the discovery that there are two people making money in skateboarding right now. Mm-hmm. One is the people building the parks. That was one of the insights that we got, but I have no skills for that. I have nothing that I can bring to the table to build a skate park. But then the people that are teaching programming, those people are actually busy too. They're booked. And these people did not have legit operations. These were just, all cash, under the table, no insurance, no safety gear, no certification, no anything, just because there's no other option. So parents would find a responsible looking kid.
Yeah.
Sure.
And just
looks like they can skate.
Yeah, and the kid would say, sure, $20, and they would do a lesson and they would do it. But this was happening like everywhere, and there was just a ton of this. So that ended up finally. I know that was kind of a long road to answer your basic question.
No, I love the journey.
How do we get to ramp up? It really became this situation of I want to do this. Christine says, why don't we get a space in Phoenixville and maybe we'll build a park? That would be sick if we could build a park. Mm-hmm. I did the math. I realized this would be extremely challenging. And not that it doesn't work, but it's just very risky at this time. We've got a daughter at this point. Mm-hmm. We have two now, but at the time our oldest was, I guess, two or 3 years old. And we just said, well, why don't we test it? Like, how could you do a minimum viable version of this? Just to see if it would even work. Would anybody buy before we go rent a space and sink $100,000 into a skate park?
Right.
And so then, so really, to be perfectly honest, Christine would just go on Facebook, and the moms that were saying, I want skateboarding lessons, she would just sign me up. She would be like, my husband can do it. And she would send me off to an address, and I would just do the lesson there. And it was one of those organic things where like, it just got so quickly grew that like the first year we tried this, we had almost 100 kids come through like the program, which we didn't expect. And then the next year it just about doubled. And then this year, we're on track to have over 600 kids through the program, like throughout since we started, which is just about 2.5 years so far. Which I mean, for us is like, that was motivating enough for me and May to say, all right, well, I'm done with coding stuff. I stopped all the full-time and the contract work. And I said, I'm going to just try ramp up, and we're going to see if we can just turn this into a new model, and maybe spread it around a little bit and get some more coaches on board.
Sure. That's a great path.
And now we're here. Yeah. Now we're here. It's been a crazy journey. In retrospect, it seems like it was all meant to be, but I tell you, every minute along the way, it really seemed like, what are we doing now? Now we're doing this. Now we're doing that. There's a million odd jobs in there that we didn't even talk about because that's life. It just bounces you around.
So going from like answering Facebook messages to being, teaching individual kids or several kids, how do you, like, what are your risks? How scared were you when you were like, let's make this a whole program and let's walk away from what we're doing and make this a full-time program for kids, as opposed to something that just every once in a while comes along and I make $20 or whatever you're making, you know what I mean? Like, with that step into making it a full program, like, what was that moment like?
Sometimes you step into something like that, and sometimes you're sort of like dragged into it, right? That's how it feels anyway. It's like, I mean, I guess to be fair, we did have full-time jobs sprinkled in here too, right? So my wife currently is working as a digital project manager, so there is still some income coming into the house. And previously, kind of while Ramp Up was at its very early stages, I was doing full-time web development. So we did have this period where we were able to save up a little bit. It's rare for us to both be employed full-time, both of us, but that was the case going into this. But I think really what happens is, like, we decided that we were going to do this like the most legit way possible. We were going to look at what's being done, like how I described with the kind of private lesson on the side sort of thing, which is still cool, by the way. Like, that we want as many people in skateboarding as possible. So like, I love that that's happening. And for parents who are interested, just like bring your kids to the skate park, and people will teach them for free. Like, that's just how it works. Like, it's an extremely the community really lifts each other. Yeah. It feels intimidating. It's like a gym, like a fitness center. But if you go in there and ask a question, everybody wants to help you. Everybody wants you to be where they are, and or to be part of the team and all that. So anyways, that's part of it, just worth saying. But what we decided is we're going to look at that model, and we want to make sure that in every area of that business, let's call it, we want to be 10 times better than what the parents can get there. So in terms of equipment, in terms of safety and certification, in terms of a curriculum, in terms of the times offered and the locations, we want to come to you. We want to, so we really, we felt like the first stop for us was the Parks and Rec, right? That's like the most legit anti-skateboarding way to do this. It's like, let's end up on the Parks and Rec website as like an after-school club. But it resonated and it worked, and it really helped us out because they already have a built-in market. They already have an email list with 1,400, local families on it that we just didn't have. I mean, we're just, like I said, it's Facebook, it was word of mouth. And so it was do that until you can't possibly juggle it all is really the answer to that question. Sure. I was working full time, let's say right before I quit, before we quit. So this is fall of 2024. I was working full time, and I was doing 6 sessions per week. 6 days per week, actually more sessions than that, because Saturday 2 sessions, Sunday 2 sessions, plus private lessons after that. I mean, we were just busy. We were like, we couldn't do both anymore. And I was getting more calls and emails from skateboarding than I was from my full-time job. So it became at some point like, you got to do this. You got to go for it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's big, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. And now we're out over the cliff, and let's see what happens,
Yeah. You jumped off. But at least you're building a plane on the way down.
Yeah, right.
So, and as far as the package that you bring in your van is like, obviously Megan and I are fans of yours because both of our daughters are amazing skateboarders because of your program.
Right.
And they love it, and they really do enjoy it. What kind of things are you bringing? Because when I first showed up and I have my longboard, I was like, okay, put your foot down and push, put your foot down and push. And then by the second lesson, you had the kids dropping in on a quarter.
Right.
So like, what kind of stuff do you bring? And like, where do you get that stuff? Like what kind of precautions are you taking with that stuff?
Right. That's a really good question. So here's what we did. We started a little bit recklessly in the beginning, because again, we're both full-time employed. And we just ordered a ton of stuff. It was fun. It was a fun thing getting all this.
Out.
It was skateboards were coming in, the ramps were coming in, and we put it to the test. So I would bring it for the kids to try. And when I say, like, there's equipment that I bought that cost me hundreds of dollars that we tried one time and it was a huge failure and I just abandoned it. That happened many times, many times, because the marketing is not always the case. Like the thing about teaching skateboarding is that it's very difficult to find a formal curriculum for this, like a pathway, like a true Some of the places like Woodward, they will, if you've heard of Woodward camps, they've been around forever. Woodward, PA is actually like HQ for them, but they have locations across the country. They're famous for being the elite training facilities. So you go there to try to go pro and things like that. Wow. At least that was my impression of them. That said, like when we're going for the kids who, like you said, are just standing and pushing, just starting, like what can you do at that level? Because the truth is skateboarding is really hard. Skateboarding there's a reason that scooters are blowing up or have blown up over the last 10, 15 years because they've got a handle. And my 2-year-old could do it. My daughters could do it as soon as they're 2 years old and they can stand, they can ride the scooter already. The skateboard's not like that. The skateboard, it's a high threshold activity. It takes time to just get good enough to ride around. So in testing the equipment, I can't test it. I got to have the kids test it. I got to use them as the guinea pigs to say like, okay, what level are we at? And I would say probably about like 50% of everything is still in my garage and I don't know if we'll ever use it again. Because we really
when you get the skate park, you will.
Yeah,
the skate park. Yeah, there you go.
And that's the whole thing is like the mobile part will always be like the bunny slopes. We come to you, really low barrier to entry. I bring all the skateboards. I bring a certified instructor. I know all the steps by heart. I can do the song and dance, and I can get you up to the level where you can ride comfortably in the skate park. Anybody, we can do that for kids at least. My insurance is only up to 14 years old, so I get a lot of requests from parents. But for the kids, we feel very confident in kind of the system we've built. But to find all that equipment, it was a trial and error. It was a tough process, an expensive process, and then everything has to pass the test of can I set it up and put it away by myself in the car too. That was another thing. There's lots of great things I wish I had, customizations I wish I could make to the equipment, but it doesn't fit in the van. So that limitation really created this kind of the current kit, which I think we've got priced out at about like $2,500. So everything in the van for the next guy who doesn't have to spend like all the money. It's essentially, it's that, and it includes ramps, it includes boards, all the tools required. It includes all sorts of like fun obstacles, with an emphasis on like total beginners can do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The limbo bar was fun. I like watching the kids do that.
That's fun. You'll never see it in a skate video, but it is such a crowd pleaser. Like and it practices all the right skills.
Do you think adults will ever be something that you think about possibly adding in?
Maybe. The thing about, and I'm sure you could both relate to this, but the thing about once you're kind of in the entrepreneur seat and you kind of have all these ideas, like our ideas we're not short on ideas. Like we have ideas for the next 30 years.
Stops.
Like we could do so much. I would love to do more with summer camps. I would love to have a space someday. I would love to do all these things. The adults should learn to skateboard. It's a super fun thing to do.
Yeah.
It becomes tricky for me to do it with my current system, simply because they tend to weigh 100 pounds more than my current students.
Yeah, sure.
And with that brings not just like additional levels of risk. I mean, adults can sign up for their thing, and if they get hurt, that's their thing. But it's more about, can I do the moves physically? Can I hold them? Can I carry them? Can I? Does it even still make sense? Can I do this intro course? So at some point, if there's enough demand, we'll definitely do an adult class. But I think it comes down to developing the right curriculum, which I do not have right now for adults.
Yeah, I'm self-taught, so I'm not great, but I like the longboard feel. Just getting on it and pushing and going and pushing and going and gliding and then rock. You know what I mean? It's like you got to learn that lesson like just by doing it too. So I like that you also like encourage people to just go to the park on the weekend and things like that. And you yourself, do you get to go to the park on your own? Or is this even still a hobby? Do you like
such a good question too. It's so funny. Some of this stuff I haven't thought of in a little while, so you bring it up and it's like, do I even skate? I skate just about every day, 6 days a week, especially during the season. But in a lot of ways, I'm doing what I did when I was teaching kids to code, which is I'm like locking in my fundamentals every day, but I never really progress that much, which I think as you get older is okay. I think it's like, I'm not going to be flying down the stair sets. I wasn't really doing that as a kid, but I'm certainly not going to be doing it now.
I mean, adult, 2 children, mortgages to pay.
Exactly.
You shouldn't really.
Exactly. And every year, maybe the the pop isn't quite as high, your ollies aren't quite as high.
Yeah.
But it's still a ton of fun. And what I will say is it beats the pants off the sitting at home and doing the computer every day.
That's what I was going to say. Any regrets here?
No, I feel great. I lost 20 pounds immediately after.
That's
awesome. I wasn't even trying to lose weight. It just happens.
You got yourself
you're
moving.
out every day. You're moving. You do these sessions. Sometimes you're out there for 3.5 hours at the park, and at the end, you just feel more energized than when you got into it. Yeah. It's awesome. It's a great thing to do. And
I have a question about your 20 pounds. Was it the COVID 20?
Yeah, it might have been.
COVID-19?
Yeah.
He went up, and then it came right back down.
I think that's totally fair, really, because, again, the sitting is just so bad for us.
Yeah. And our mentals, there was just a whole bunch of things going on that weighed into that. But that's why I giggled when you said you lost 20. I was like, what?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
was it like a mental comfort 20?
Exactly.
What's the future? What are you hoping for? What do you want to happen?
Yeah.
What is going to happen?
Yeah. So right at this moment, I've hit in the spot in my journey where I need help. I'm maxed out on what I can achieve by myself. At any given time, we have 9 or 10 partners, as in different parks and rec or Root Down, like I mentioned. At any given time, we've got 9 or 10 of those. And I'm out skating 6 days a week to support all that. If I had a copy of me right now, if I could just copy me exactly, and we could work together, I could easily double it. The demand for this is much higher than I can supply right now.
Nice.
That's the sense that I get. I've had talks with at least 20 townships or organizations who would want a skateboarding program in their space, but I have no way of doing it. So that's my current challenge is let's build a team. Let's do it right. Let's do it slow. I'm not in a rush. I want to do it the right way. I want to find the right people. And I truthfully don't know who those people are yet. I've mostly tried skaters up until now.
I was going to say, any friends from high school?
Yeah, and we have, and if you remember, I have the PA Skate Parks account has grown organically without me really posting to 2,000 people. So I use that to recruit right now, and that's been working pretty well. But at the end of the day, I think what I'm looking for really is more of an educator, mentor, father, mother, kind of somebody who is in it for the kids, not in it for the skateboarding. Okay. So that's just something that I'm kind of reflecting on now. I could definitely project further in the future if that's fun to do. But right now, my current thing is we're going to scale this thing. We're going to figure out how I can get 2, 3, 4 vans, and we can cover more of Pennsylvania, maybe Jersey, maybe New York, if that's what.
It's such an exciting concept. I love hearing about this.
It's there's still a ton of work to do, but I think being mobile is something that we stumbled upon that unlocked everything, because these same economics of the business, it doesn't work if you have brick and mortar space. If I got to pay $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month in rent and insurance and maintaining the place, you can't do that. This business doesn't work anymore.
So you're finding it's better that if you go there, right?
It's better that I can have $2,500 worth of gear in a car. You know what I mean? Then I can own all of that and have no payments on any of it, and I can drive it around all I want and spread it around. I think one of the big challenges, to be totally transparent, and this is, we've started to outline some of our core values and things like that, and in an attempt to start to communicate who we are. And one of them I just call the grind, which means that skaters work harder. We just always have, and you have to if you want to do this. There's no way around it. This isn't going to be a get-rich-quick scheme. It's going to be something that is tough. You think back to the beginnings of skateboarding, and you've got roller skates screwed onto a board with metal wheels. That was not a fun ride. That was the fact that got popular is only because there was a small group of psychos that were we're willing to do this. And then even when the park started getting built and the urethane wheels come around and all that, it was still a very niche thing. And then the 80s come and they close all that, and there's big insurance scandals and kids are getting hurt and whatnot. And what happens, all those kids go to the streets and they keep doing it, right? They can't be stopped. It's this skater drive that, I think if you do youth baseball, no shade to youth baseball, everybody should play baseball, but you just don't have any struggle. There's no struggle. Your mom signs you up and you show up and all your friends from school are there. And everybody knows how to play, and it's very straightforward. You win or lose, and there's maybe even a career path here, and a college. It's just everything. The fields are manicured, and you don't have to think about it. Nobody's lobbying town hall for another baseball field.
Yeah.
But skaters have always just had to work harder. So I think that's a big challenge for me in scaling right now.
Gotcha. And to hit on a conversation we had right before this started.
Yeah, sure.
You mentioned the women, and I'm sorry, girls are into this almost more than the boys are.
Right.
Which,
Yeah, we all have daughters.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We both have daughters who were in your program, and it's interesting to me that that's a fact that you're I think signing up more girls.
I think what's funny is Ramp Up actually we kind of hold these several contrarian ideas to the skateboarding industry that I think are really powerful. And one of them being girls and women participation in the sport. You could say with a straight face that there have always been girls in skateboarding. There are important and iconic women through the history of skateboarding. However, if you just go to a skate park, you'll typically see there's a very different situation.
Male-dominated,
it's male-dominated, and not even really kids. I mean, maybe teens, but a lot of 20s and 30s. That tends to be the demographic that sort of just naturally takes over the park. And to be fair, these are the same people when they were 12 years old that were campaigning for that skate park, and they finally got it. So they should be there. But what we see with Ramp Up, as soon as we started, we've maintained a 2-to-1 ratio, not on purpose. It's just who signed up, 2 boys for every girl, which I estimate to be much higher than the average skateboarding participation. And we're finding that that's increasing. I have right now a 5-to-1 class, a beginner class that's about to start in the spring. Yeah. I don't know exactly why. I have a lot of theories. I think on some level, skateboarding is just a sport that is suited for women equally, or if not, maybe even a little more. I mean, think about the attributes. You're thinking about the balance, right? And kind of coordination and this patience and being able to deal with frustrations and just the elements of it. You're fighting yourself. A lot of it is you versus you because style is so important in skateboarding. And so 2 people do the same trick down the same obstacle, but they're totally different. I mean, in the skateboarding world, it's obvious to us. You can see somebody's silhouette doing the trick and you know who it is because of the way that they hold themselves. And when I think about this and I think about the sports that women excel at, there's no reason really. I mean, it's been a cultural reason, not some sort of physiological, biological kind of thing. Sure. It's not football, It's just a very sort of leveled sport. And then I think, and this is something we talked about before, I think there's a changing attitude. This is another one of our contrarian kind of thoughts is that we are not marketing to 13-year-old boys. We're marketing to moms specifically. And I'm not ashamed to say it. We want moms to want their kids to skate.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think every skater kind of wanted that. When they were a kid, It's I want the moms to realize that this is where my son or daughter can go to to build resilience and adaptability and creativity and camaraderie and self-confidence and
getting back up.
And getting back up, falling down and getting back up. And it's working. The girls are showing up and they're good too. They can skate. It's fun. It's
it's an art of independence.
It totally is.
Learn something incredible and then make it your own.
Yes.
And it's part of, I don't know, when you market to moms, it's part of the appeal of a sport.
Maybe the style thing is a big part of it. You know what I mean? Being a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly.
Is attractive for.
And I think there's this part about being part of a team, but it's not a team. It's a community. It's everybody wants you to win and nobody wants you to lose. That's and I don't mean that in everybody should win thing. I just mean that in going back to the fitness center, everybody wants to see that person make the comeback. Everybody's rooting for them.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying they should stay home. Everybody is on their side. And I think maybe that also appeals. It's not as much competition, not as much contact, and a little bit more of a community, a real supportive community.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I love about skateboarding.
Yeah. One of the coolest things about skateboarding is that community about it.
Yeah. It's a great group.
Everyone just wants to show up and see what some person can do and if they could do it or how they can change it.
Sure.
It's incredible.
It's interesting when team sports, Little League baseball, like you mentioned, everybody's rooting for their team to win, as a team, and you learn that team aspect. And as a hockey player for a couple decades.
Sure.
I could tell you the most important lessons that I learned is like, if you just do what you're there to do and trust that everybody else will do it, you're going to succeed and everything's going to be great. And I think with skateboarding, everybody's moving the same direction. There's no finish line. There's no 9 innings. It's, you did that kickflip, awesome. You know what I mean? Like you dropped it on that ramp for the first time, awesome. And I think like that positive, you know, just reinforcement overall is not only just like, hey, I did that. It's, hey, you did that. You know, there's like a back and forth and a really good camaraderie to it all. And I think that, you know, you're exemplifying that with this program for kids. And that's a really cool thing. I guess that's not a question, but a comment.
Yeah.
But you were talking about season. So is there a specific amount of time that like is the winter season sometimes that you wouldn't typically take on lessons? Are you working all year long?
Yes.
Your busiest season?
Is there a snow shovel in the van?
Yes. There's a broom and a squeegee. Snow shovel, not so much yet. But I think skateboarding for sure is 365 days a year sport. People definitely do it. I did bring the shovel back with my friends back in the day. We would bike to the park with our shovels and we would shovel out the park, which is not uncommon. Everybody is shoveling out every skate park when that happens, when it snows. Go to any skate park and the locals will be there shoveling it out. That is the thing. For us, like, I think our seasons we're still trying to figure a lot of this out. You know, right now we tend to do the beginner session to be like a 6-week program. That tends to be the program where I can guarantee that the kids are going to get to the level that they want to get to in those 6 weeks of beginners. And then because of just logistics, we then tag on also a level 2. So the level 2 becomes 6 weeks simply because 6 weeks seems like the sweet spot for beginners too.
Yeah.
I would love to have something that engages kids year round. That really is what we're missing with the space. I have for sure dozens of kids who would come year round. And not the seasons and more of a membership base. Yeah. And I would love to do that. I just don't have the economics worked out for that yet. I can't justify it quite yet.
I foresee a ramp up tour of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Those PA skateboarding website's going to pay off.
That's right.
You're just going to go around the state one of these summers.
It's so funny you mentioned that. This is a little bit on the down low, but without too many specifics, we're going to pilot something like this actually this fall with a homeschool organization who are available during the day.
That's so cool.
So we have 10 parks picked out and we're going to go and meet at all the parks. All parks have never done the lesson at before. That come from the PA Skate Parks Day.
Right.
So you're right on it. And I have just so many ideas about what this could be. You could have a summer camp based on that. That's not, you always drop off at one place, but we all pile in the van and we go someplace cool. You know, we go somewhere together as a team during the day. So I really would love, there's this really interesting thing right here in Phoenixville. You've got Black Rock Skate Park. Yes. And right next to it's the baseball diamonds. And so there are some days where it lines up where there's a big game happening while we're at the skate park. And I look over there to the other side of the fence thinking, like, what can I do to get all of the families cheering like this, to get everybody sort of understanding who's progressing and winning right now, but on my side of the fence for skateboarding. I think it's something we've got to invent. I don't think there is a thing for it. You know, like there's competition, but like I said, skateboarding is so high threshold. It's so hard just to ride around that the kids aren't ready for any type of meaningful competition. And I don't even know if I want competition to be part of this, but I do want the families celebrating what they've accomplished. And so I think that's another thing too. And we talk about the future of this.
Just pitching it out there from something from gymnastics. Because at Aerials, they have this rope climb and all the gymnasts, whatever level you're starting at, they want you to climb to the top of the rope. And when you get to the top, there's a bell and you ring it. And the whole gym stops to cheer on that person. And the parents who are watching also cheer on. Maybe you just need a bell. Like when someone masters something to grab their attention and everyone knows like this is a trick that they're standing on the board for longer than 30 seconds. Or like, I don't know, something to acknowledge.
I love it.
I don't know, just pitching it.
No, really. It's like we're anything's possible here because I just can't find a good model for it. It's exciting and it's terrifying. Like I can't find the person who's going to show me how to do this. So like maybe let's do it. Let's get the bell. You know, I'm that's where I'm at right now.
We'll brainstorm it all.
I
love a good melting pot of idea.
We'll be here all day.
Session.
Yes, exactly.
At the first lesson, I remember you teaching the kids to just knock their skateboards on the ground when somebody does something good. And even that's just like a great form of just like encouragement for each other. You know what I mean? It would be nice if there was a bell and they ring the bell and then everybody does it, just so everybody kind of clicks in their mind that that's when they should do it, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's a work in progress. We've got so many aspirations for this. But yeah, we're excited. There's a lot of good potential here. People are hungry for this. I mean, people are looking for something right now. I think maybe one of the things that would be worth sharing about Ramp Up is just a lot of the thoughts I've been having lately about childhood and just in general, childhood as an important phase of life, as a critical thing that perhaps we screwed up by accident. You know, all of us, everybody watching here, just, you know, we had the best intentions, and we've been creating such cool things, but I think a lot of the risk and the learning has been sort of sucked out of childhood. Sure. I think that there's this sense of where the kids used to leave the house when the sun came up and then they'd come back for dinner. Yes. No snacks, no water bottles, nothing planned, no plans. Yeah, they just had to figure it out and survive and come home. And now, I mean, I think about my daughter, who's she'll be 7 in January, and she hasn't really even spent that much time out of eyesight of me in her whole life up till now. Yeah. And I think, like, when I think about what I can do to positively impact community in some small way, I think it has to do with childhood. I think it has to do with giving kids a place that is safe, but also you're going to get banged up a little bit. Yeah. Kids are going to get frustrated, and you know, they're not going to succeed, and that's okay, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's the way this works. Yeah. So I think, you know, kind of having this message of like helping to figure out what childhood looks like in the future is a big part of what drives the decisions we make.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's good, man. You are definitely the perfect amalgamation to be the person, to be the beacon of this, for sure. Because, you know, leaving careers to teach kids, to having a love of skateboarding, to already have a database of all the skateboard parks in the state of Pennsylvania, to, you know, launching this great thing that, you know, we've had positive experiences personally with your program. It really is fantastic what you're doing, man. Congratulations on everything you've done so far, man.
I really appreciate it. It's awesome. It's amazing to have this moment to talk about it, because you're just moving so fast. You never talk about it. You've asked me questions that I've never thought about today, and that's just the thing. You're just in it. You're so in it that you don't get a chance to reflect. But I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, and I appreciate you guys trying out the program. Sure. And registration's open for fall.
I was going to say,
how do people register?
If anybody wants in, but really, even the real call to action for me right now is I'm looking for great mentors who want to help. If there's other people who want to get involved and want to help in any way with this, we're ready. We've got a system that kind of works, and we're ready to spread it. And I'm just looking for the best people out there.
I'm sure there's people out there, man.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
That's a cool program.
Yeah.
So if you're a mom or you're a skateboarder or a teacher or somebody who loves teaching kids, you know, come on out. And like, obviously, like, you need a passion for skateboarding, but would the teacher, is the job interview, you need to do a kickflip or something? You know what I mean? Like,
not even. Think about a soccer coach. I need that level.
Sure.
I had a soccer coach who would stand on the side and yell at us. I just need somebody who's going to show up every day for the kids.
Yeah, you said it earlier. Correct. I need someone who's there for the kids and not for this, like, not for the, obviously to have a love of skateboarding, but not there for the skateboarding fame. Yeah. You're there because you want to help encourage kids to be resilient.
That's right.
Learn something new.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got what's the website?
We're at rampupskateboarding.com or rampupskate.com. Same thing on Instagram and all that. You could find us pretty easy. If you're in Phoenixville, just skateboarding Phoenixville or Ramp Up Phoenixville, and we'll pop up there. You'll be able to see kind of what's going on.
And you're typically down at First Fridays as well, right?
Yeah, and that's been pretty much the only real form of marketing, is showing up and then getting people on the email list. So if you're interested in like kind of knowing what's going on, we're not super active on social. We don't necessarily feel like we know how to handle social yet with kids and all that, with families and sharing, and who would even want to watch. I'm not sure yet, but the newsletter's the place, and definitely come check us out and get on board.
All right, Mike from Ramp Up Skateboarding, thanks a lot for coming, man.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah. This has been super fun.
This is awesome.
And this is the buzz about Ramp Up Skateboarding. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe on all platforms for future episodes. If you'd like your podcast recorded or need a space for filming, please visit 15northvideo.com for more information.